Welcome to The Deciding Point, our Cracked Racquets weekly roundup of the biggest storylines happening throughout the tennis world. This past week saw a couple of first-time champions on the ATP and WTA Tour. Now for Astra Sharma, it was her first WTA level title in Charleston. For Stefanos Tsitsipas, his first Masters 1000 title. That still counts. Want to talk about those events, some of the action we saw on the Challenger Tour as well. With that in mind, Westhoff, roll those credits. Let's start today's show. What a week of tennis we just saw unfold in Charleston. And I suppose we should have always expected things to get funky given it was the second of back-to-back events held at the site, but what a fantastic week. So many storylines to explore, whether it's Astra Sharma's first WTA level title of her career, whether it was 15-year-old Linda Fruhvirtova or 19-year-old former world junior number one Maria Camila Osorio Serrano making deep runs at the event. Ons Jabeur continuing to show that this being her first full season of WTA level clay court events. Look out rest of the tour, because with her variety, her comfort level moving on the surface, she is going to be an absolute nightmare for any opponent to face. There are so many things to talk about coming out of the week's event. The first thing I have to say, shout out to the tournament organizers, having served on press row and asked this question of many of the players. They were all so grateful, so thankful to have an event in the same site 2 weeks in a row. It just made everything so much easier for them logistically, and so you have to give a shout out to the tournament organizers for pulling this off. The next thing we have to talk about, whenever a former college tennis great wins a tour level title, it's going to catch our attention here at Cracked Racquets. And for Astra Sharma, who's had a ton of success on the doubles tour, as we can expect, former Vanderbilt Commodore standout, was an All-American in singles and doubles. You know, she's been a top 100 ranked player, had made a WTA level final before, but you know, to see her do it on the green clay here in Charleston, her aggressive game style, her willingness to make matches physical, to take the ball early, still move forward, it earned her the victory. And you look now, she's 14-12 in her last 52 weeks, but you look at how she earned those 14 wins, going through qualifying at the French Open before, I believe, winning a round there, going through qualifying in Guadalajara before making the round of 16 there, you know, taking advantage of the draw here to make the final. She just played great tennis from start to finish. And again, you watch Sharma play, her length, her ability to beat you to the spot. She was able to make that match against Jabeur so physical, particularly in the second set when it was clear Jabeur was hurting. It was just a phenomenal, again, aggressive tennis from Astra Sharma. Ultimately earns her a well-deserved first WTA title of her career. The crazy thing, she's not going to break the top 100, which speaks to the point protections, etc., but into the top 120 once again, which is where she belongs. The talent she has, such a well-rounded game. She was fantastic this week, as was Ons Jabeur, who was feeling it a little bit, you could tell, again, in that final set, but in that second and third set in the final, but another final for her at the WTA level. It just makes sense. Her variety, her willingness to hit the drop shot, and we chatted with her. You can hear that conversation on our From the Presser, a segment of the Cracked Interviews podcast. But yeah, she, the former junior French Open champion, clearly enjoys herself on the dirt. Be on the lookout for some breakthroughs there. And again, if you want to hear more about Fruhvirtova or Maria Camila Osorio Serrano, I talked about them so much last week on the mini break. I don't want to repeat myself too much here. But despite the, I suppose, lack of headline players, right, outside of Jabeur and Shelby Rogers, there was no serious, plethora of top 10 players in this week's event, but absolutely entertaining tennis, high-level tennis as well. Charleston certainly delivered the goods once again this past week.